Thank you very much, Program Director Ayanda, Deputy Minister of Transport, Honorable Fikile Mbalula, MEC for Transport in Gauteng, Honorable Jacob Mamabolo, MECs from all provinces joining us virtually, Board Chairperson of RTIA, Ms. Fikile Zulu, Acting Director General, Mr. Chris Labisa, Acting Registrar of RTIA, Ms. Dalian Mabula, the Chairperson of the Board of RTMC, Advocate Zola Majavu, the CEO of the RTMC, Advocate Makhosini Msibi, ladies and gentlemen of the media and fellow South Africans. When His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the AARTO Amendment Act into law on the 13th of August 2019, this sixth administration made a firm commitment to the citizenry that service delivery will be undertaken with great speed. I spoke about one of the interventions which will deal a decisive blow to lawlessness on our roads, which is the implementation of the AARTO Act. We have done some of the consultations with the relevant stakeholders at various platforms for the last few years. Today we mark a milestone with the process towards AARTO national rollout, which has been a long time coming. As indicated in my budget speech 2021, that over the medium term, we have allocated to the Road Traffic Infringement Agency, RTIA, 545 million to fund the rollout. If you are in the Department of Transport, welcome to the season of delivery. In the month of June, it was 2 years since we were appointed by President Ramaphosa in the position of Ministry of Transport. Going forward is a season of delivery. In the past months, we dealt with the issues related to RAF, as we continue to do so, and we registered yet another milestone dealing with the issues that relate to the financial liabilities of that particular entity. So you must understand these things in their interconnectedness. You resolve issues in terms of the law, intensification, you're dealing with anarchy on the roads. You resolve issues of maladministration and embezzlement of resources that are RAF. You are equally assisting the poorest of the poor and all the road users on the road. You fix the roads and then you are addressing the bigger problem we are facing. So each aspect is interrelated. After this rollout today, we'll be having a big discussion and which will be discussing the rollout plan of dealing with potholes and road maintenance in all our provinces. So this is a concurrent function, the Ministry of Transport. We don't act on our own. And I also want to thank our colleagues in the different provinces for coming to the party in terms of running this Ministry of Transport. And I also want to thank our staff and everyone else involved, including at RTIA, to make this difficult job happen. And we are fixing and changing things at the Department of Transport. But time will tell. Of that entire amount of 215 million has been allocated for the current financial year. We are on track with our target, and indeed today kickstarts the process towards a nationwide rollout of AARTO as promised. However, it is prudent to take the nation into confidence that the rollout we are witnessing today has not been without challenges. Today we give a clear account of the challenges experienced, which some have been touched by the board chair, Ms. Fikile Zulu, which have led to a decision to adopt a phased approach to this critical road safety intervention. After the Amendment Act was promulgated during September 2019, the department immediately commenced with the process of drafting the supporting regulations, which were published in November 2019. After the closing date of that process, the department was faced with mounting extension requests from key stakeholders who had missed the submission deadline, which could not be ignored. The department then took a decision to restart the process of publishing the regulations during January 2020. In the interest of inclusivity and fairness, so as to give those critical stakeholders an opportunity to participate in the regulation-making process. As history has now recorded, towards the first end of the first quarter of 2020, the country unfortunately went through the COVID-19 pandemic, which necessitated the related level 5 lockdown, which disrupted almost the entire social and economic activity throughout the country. This reduction of the country into an economic standstill inevitably impacted on the revenue performance of the agency and its resultant incapability to implement the AARTO rollout because of its poor financial base. A decision was therefore taken to postpone the process towards AARTO rollout set for July 2020 and embarked on a process of seeking additional funding from National Treasury to recapitalize the operation of the agency as pronounced in 2021-2022 budget vote speech alluded to above. With the second publishing of the regulations as requested by our stakeholders, meant the period of public comments to the AARTO regulations closed on the 2nd of December 2020, whereupon the department received a total of 288 public submissions. The adjudication team comprising of officials from the department and the RTIA was assembled during January 2021 to assess and make decisions on the public submissions. Such process was a very protracted exercise, and it was completed at the end of April 2021 and had to be further referred to the law state advisor for the latter's expression of its legal opinion on the content. The state law process was subsequently completed at the beginning of May 2021, and the department and the agency had to embark on another exercise of engaging with further comments which were made by the state law advisor in the legal opinion, a process which has since been completed awaiting proclamation of the regulations. It is only after the finalization of the concurrence process with the Minister of Justice and relevant MECs that the President can be approached to pass the proclamation notice of AARTO Amendment Act 4 of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, we are aware of the comments and questions that the public has with regard to AARTO, national rollout, and the points demerit system. The frustrations shared by the public are understandable, and this is the reason we have deemed it important to share the struggles that we had to endure to get to the point we are in today. The current economic climate requires us to be sensitive to the plight of our people, as we find ourselves in the eye of the third wave with devastating consequences and loss of life. Mindful of the difficult economic climate, government has had to respond to the circumstances in rolling out this critical intervention set to change the landscape to reduce the high rate of non-compliance to traffic laws and to inculcate a new habit of voluntary compliance to road traffic laws. Recognizing that AARTO has been successfully operational in the metros of Johannesburg, Tshwane, since 2008, although with some teething problems that were dealt with, this national rollout means the entire AARTO Amendment Act of 2019 with regulations is now incrementally being put in force in a phased approach that will culminate with the points demerit system. The impact of the points demerit system embedded in the AARTO process is such that there will be an allocation of demerit points for specific transgressions committed by infringers on our roads. This is an objective and fair system of identifying reckless drivers and lawbreakers so that we can remove them from the driving fold. Similarly, common penalties are being introduced for all traffic violations throughout the country and will carry the same penal values. Electronic service will begin in earnest, which means that law enforcement can be effectively supported by technology, servicing documents by electronic means such as email. In addition, infringers can exercise their elective options accompanied by the introduction of the Independent Appeals Tribunal, where infringers can appeal against the rulings of the RTIA to the tribunal, where such representations were not successful. Moving forward, the AARTO rollout ensures that infringers do not have to be a burden to the courts with some of these infringements. This also sees the introduction of driver rehabilitation programs for habitual infringers, where infringers who have their licenses cancelled can attend rehabilitation programs before being allowed back in the driving fold. This shows that the AARTO is not just about punishment, but has intentions to ensure compliance and change of road user behavior. In order to sensitize the public to the changes brought by this AARTO legislation, serious considerations have been given to educate and empower the public on the manner in which this law will impact on road users. It is therefore prudent that this rollout be introduced in phases to ensure that all metros and local municipalities fully adhere to the legislation with lessons learned from the operational jurisdictions of Johannesburg and Tshwane used as a yardstick for maximum impact. The achievement of this process towards a rollout is as a result of the collective effort with critical stakeholders in the AARTO value chain listed, but not limited to the following: the Road Traffic Management Corporation for all the systems in the National Contraventions Register, South African Post Office for the serving of all notices as per the requirement of AARTO Act, Government Printing Works for the supply of AARTO stationery to all issuing authorities, the AARTO National Steering Committee ensuring that all provinces participate and have a voice in the AARTO process led by the department. The phased-in approach to the AARTO national rollout can be summarized as follows. Phase 1 starts from today, 1st of July 2021 to the 30th of September 2021, consisting of establishing of 7 service outlets, enable the NATIS system to collect AARTO payments at collecting agents, allowing elective options to be processed in IAs and service outlets, communication and education awareness campaigns. That is now phase 1. Phase 2 starts from the 1st of October 2021 to 31st December 2021. And that phase includes coming online of 67 local and metropolitan municipality areas proclaimed for AARTO rollout. Establishment of more than 18 service outlets, adjudication process coming online in all provinces, appeals tribunal coming into full operation. Phase 3 start from the 1st of January 2022 to 30th June 2022. Inclusion of the 144 remaining local municipal area proclaimed for AARTO rollout, and that is phase 3. Phase 4 start from the 1st of July 2022 to the 1st of July. Start from the 1st of July to the 1st of July 2023. Coming online of the points demerit system, the rehabilitation program, establishment of 20 AARTO self-service kiosks, and that is now phase 4. So there are many people who are interested on the demerit system. So you will see that from today's rollout, that will be the last. Once you have done everything else, then the demerit system will kick in, and that will happen next year in terms of the phases in July, from the 1st of July 2021. As we pronounce the process towards the national rollout today, the first phase of AARTO rolling out from 1st July 2021 to 30th September 2021 comes into effect. This phase is intended to increase the footprint of the RTIA nationally, to be closer to the people through 7 AARTO service outlets and online services, such as the AARTO website and the AARTO mobile application. These service outlets will allow the public to exercise their AARTO elective options, especially those in rural areas. Issuing authorities in all provinces will be in a position to facilitate access to the elective options and give the public the ability to pay for their infringements anywhere in the country. This phase will be accompanied by aggressive public awareness and education campaigns to ensure that all road users are empowered with AARTO education in a language they understand. And as we mark each and every milestone in terms of changing of faces, it is important that we must keep on reminding the public in relation to these phases all the time, because most of you easily forget. The second phase of the rollout will commence from the 1st of October 2021, which is the beginning of October Transport Month, to 31st December 2021 as per proclamation of the AARTO Act 46 of 1998 as amended, which will witness 67 local metropolitan municipal areas coming online with AARTO process details to be provided with regard to that. The adjudication process and appeals tribunal will be set in motion to assist infringers resolve their traffic infringements with ease without burdening the courts of law. If an alleged infringer is not in agreement with the adjudication results, they can approach the independent appeals tribunal as a recourse in the administrative justice process. This will reduce the burden on the courts and decriminalize traffic infringements, save for offenses that will be dealt with by the courts. This will be adopted to ensure a seamless transition, further enhanced with the coming online of another 18 AARTO service outlets with intensified public awareness and education campaigns. The third phase of the rollout will run from 1st January to 30th June 2022 and will be characterized by the coming on board of the remaining 144 local municipal areas as proclaimed. The fourth phase will wrap up the entire implementation of AARTO on the 1st of July 2022, when the points demerit system and driver rehabilitation program will be introduced. By the time we reach this milestone, there will be no excuse among our road users that they do not understand the implications and consequences of the AARTO process. Schedule 3 of the AARTO regulations will provide for a comprehensive list of demerit points allocated for every identified infringement or offense. The threshold level of demerit points is 15 points. Upon exceeding the threshold mark, one's driving license gets suspended for a period of 3 months for every point that the threshold has been exceeded. The reduction is 1 point for every 3 months that the motorist remains violation-free. Considering the significant impact that the points demerit system will have on the public, it is critical that intensive public awareness and education campaigns are intensified to ensure that every road user in the country understand the implication of the suspension and cancellation of licenses due to non-compliant behavior with road traffic laws. We must be mindful that AARTO is being introduced to save lives, and if you are compliant with all road traffic laws, you have nothing to worry about. South Africa has to remain true to the commitments made to the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety, 2021-2030. We have made a commitment to arresting the carnage on our roads and committed to reimagine our approach to road safety and making sure our people arrive alive when using our roads. I hope that today it is indeed a milestone in terms of our work on AARTO, and we're looking forward for the phased-in implementation of this important piece of legislation. Thank you very much.
Hi, Gabi boss, it's COVID days. We must sanitize. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to the Honorable Minister for a thorough breakdown of what happens from here on in. I don't anticipate any confusion, but I do understand that one or two colleagues from the media are asking for a re-emphasis on those breakdowns. And ladies and gentlemen in the media fraternity, those who are looking to pose questions in the media alert sent to you previously.
Thank you, Ayanda. I'm shocked that RTMC have got nothing to say. First and foremost, we need to clarify that AARTO, there are still regulations. There are still regulations to be promulgated, and consultations with MECs and Minister of Justice to seek concurrence is one of the things that will happen, and among others, that will lead us to the proclamation by the President. It must be emphasized that this is the launch, is a process that leads to a phased approach in terms of AARTO rollout. And that is what is important. And many people have asked that I repeat the phased-in approach, which I will be happy to do that. I think we have announced about 4 phases in terms of this. Do we start from scratch? I think that has been answered. Of course, the question of admin system and who's going to do it, also I think it has also been answered. Phase 1 start from the 1st of July, which is today, nationally, and to the 30th of September 2021, consisting of establishing 7 service outlets. That is what we say will happen in this phase. Enable the NATIS system to collect AARTO payments and collecting agents, allowing elective options to be processed in IAs and service outlets. And there will also be a massive communication campaign. That is what is going to happen. Phase 2 starts from the 1st of October, which is Transport Month, to 31st of December. And then we will also give a feedback, I suppose, at that time about Phase 1. That will happen on the 1st of October. And then on the 1st of October, it will be coming online of 67 local and metropolitan municipal areas proclaimed for AARTO rollout, and the establishment of 18 service outlets, and the adjudication process coming online in all provinces. Appeals tribunal coming into full operation. So that is what will happen in Phase 2, starting from October. It doesn't mean that when we are in Phase 1, we don't prepare for Phase 2. We give a report for the first phase, second phase, and all of that. Phase 3 starts from the 1st of January, 2022 to June 30th, 2022. This phase will deal with the inclusion of the 144 remaining local municipal areas proclaimed for AARTO rollout. Phase 4, which is the last phase, starts from July 2022, and then that is the phase in which will be coming online of the points demerit system, which is what most of the people are worried about. The rehabilitation program, establishment of 20 AARTO self-service kiosks, and that will be the last phase in terms of the rollout. We have taken the approach of a phased-in approach, given the reasons we have given, that the delays in the system happened, one, the pandemic, but at the same time, challenges at the level of management of this entity that is driving this process. So Dalian, who was speaking here, is being seconded to RTIA by the Department of Transport. The board have suspended a lot of people there because of allegations of maladministration and corruption arising from the AG's report. So the board has been seized with that matter. And then we had to suspend the people, not me, the board. I don't suspend people. So the board, suspend. So to do all the clean out and all of that, because we cannot act on AG's recommendations. So there's a big drive. We've been interacting and working very hard with the board to get this day going. There's been back and forth and all of that, and in the department we've had to intervene to get things going. And I want to thank members of the board for responding, and the chair, all of you for responding to the task at hand. It is not easy. We are also faced with litigation issues and all of that, but we're equal to the challenge. And so we've been going back and forth and making it a point that this day do come. So I want to thank everybody, even though I thank fishies for swimming. I want to thank them for making it a point that this day has come, and we are now in the full swing. And each and everything that will happen between now up until next year in the implementation of this, you will be kept informed, and be as interested as you are today. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, going forward, you will be invited as we embark on the rollout of these phases and so on. And there's a whole lot of other things that we need to embark upon in the awareness campaign. How do people get in touch and all of that in the campaign? The media people have got to do their job in relation to that, in terms of the awareness campaign, because it is only Tshwane in Johannesburg that had the test drive of the implementation of AARTO, and a whole lot of people said a lot of things, so I don't want to dwell into that. should we be taken to court at any given point in time. But the aim of AARTO is to reduce carnage on our roads and to bring responsible driving. Remember, I told you at the beginning that the only way to intervene in terms of bringing carnage down is through legislation. People who are driving on the road must be held accountable. We've got to fiddle with them. And there is a second one we are dealing with now in Parliament of drink and driving. And you know, the percentage of 0.0 is a big debate we are having in the discourse, and we've got a lot of support around that. Because people are dying on the road. People are irresponsible on the road. You've got reckless drivers, suicide bombers. When a man can see that he has had it enough in terms of the drinks, but they will go on and go to the streets and actually drive. So the law we're putting in place, we are reducing that. On the other hand, we are dealing with liabilities in terms of road accident fund so that it becomes what it is supposed to be. So we're not fighting with lawyers, we're fighting rogueness. So that must be understood. So these things are interconnected. And then we've got RTMC and all of that. On the other hand, in terms of law enforcement, you must always understand that we're dealing with traffic officers and all of that, but it's a concurrent function. So a traffic officer who goes out of hand somewhere taking bribes, we do our part, but at the end of the day, municipalities and metros must ensure that these people are kept on check. We introduce many mechanisms to reduce the scourge of fraud and corruption and bribery among our traffic officers, even body cams and all of that. So we're looking at all of those things. So colleagues, very briefly, and thank you very much for the interest all the time when we call you. And we've given you a breakdown, and we've shared with you even on our team on social media and all of that. I thank the MECs, I thank law enforcement officers present here. I thank the acting DG. Our Director General is not with us because he's down disposed with coronavirus and many others in the department. So this thing is real of COVID-19. So keep a distance, stay safe, and stay where you are supposed to stay. So you must all be orderly. MEC, so not lots of meetings and so on. And so we also wish them a speedy recovery. We have a lot of people every day and then who get affected. Yesterday, my advisor told me that he's down with COVID. So it's a mess. It's no longer somebody you don't know. And this one, they say, is contagious. And that is why we've been asked, whilst vaccines and everything else is coming, we must then follow the other protocols. You'll be safe, you know, just like that. But it's easy to. It doesn't mean if you had COVID, you can't have it now. The scientists are saying you can still have it. But thank you very much to everybody and for this important announcement, and to the chair and the board for driving this work, and the deputy minister working with the board. Part of the deputy minister signing of things that he must do by the president is this AARTO thing. So I'm just here to baptize this, but the job is the deputy minister's job. Medically Dimakanzi. She spoke earlier on, and also thank to her for working with the board to get things done at the end of the day. So I think it's an important piece of legislation that we're implementing, and it's complicated, not easy. We've got to simplify it for our people. So in Transport Department, we believe, as I conclude, we are in the season of delivery. Mr. Msim. After this meeting, we have another meeting where we are going. People are crying there about DLCAs, DLTCs, driver's license. You must understand, we must keep on reminding, up until August, your driver's license renewal process is still applicable. Is it August? Yes. Under review. But you don't have to wait for August because we're almost at August. But if your driver's license expired because of COVID and all of that, you are still eligible and a good driver. But I see the queues and all of that, and I speak to the CEO every day, and he seems not to be mindful, you know. It is important. So I remind him all the time. But we've got a whole bouquet and package of things that we're going to come back and implement in terms of easing the pressure in our queues, in terms of acquiring driver's license, important things that we've been discussing. So this afternoon we'll have that last meeting, including closing potholes. It's a big campaign. So I'm saying it's a season of delivery. Things are happening. So it's been 2 years, now it's going to be the next 2 years or so of a massive rollout of practical work in this department. Thank you very much.